Hey folks, this is the Nutty Knife Guy. I had a viewer leave in the comments asking about my EDC as it currently stands now. And I decided that would be a pretty good video to make, and since he asked, I try to give my viewers what they want. So, this should be really quick. Now, one of the things about my EDC is you're not going to see a lot of top of the line, state of the art stuff. Two reasons. First of all, I'm not made of money. And second of all, you don't always need the bestest, mostest, coolestest gadgets in the world for EDC. And it's my belief that something inexpensive that does the job adequately, that you have because you can afford it, is better than something that will do the job really, really well and do it with style and grace, and it's something that you can show your buddies and look, I've got the coolest, greatest colored pencil sharpener in the world here. When, you know, the 50-cent pencil sharpener will actually get the job done. Maybe not as well, but it'll get the job done. So that's my philosophy. And I do carry a lot of crap. But that, and I probably kind of look like an idiot to some people, or just look kind of strange because of all the stuff I carry and because most of it's on my belt. But I'm 52 years old and stopped caring about that stuff a long time ago. And the fact of the matter is, if you're going to be carrying, if you're carrying EDC, if you're carrying a firearm or a knife for personal protection, the fact of the matter is, you are preparing to fight. You're preparing to go into battle, into combat, whatever you want to call it. Right? And even if you are successful and defeat whatever threat that has come against you, it's unreasonable to expect that you're not going to be harmed in some way yourself. That could happen, but chances are, if you are in some sort of a fight, you will not come through unscathed. So I carry a couple of medical gizmos, which I will talk about. And the rest of the stuff is just, stuff that I feel that I might need one day. Also, I am disabled. I have to walk with a cane. I'm only good for about an hour, hour and a half on my bad leg under ideal conditions before walking becomes a real issue. So, if my car breaks down or something like that, even if I use my cell phone to call for help, it might not arrive, or it might be a condition that maybe I've forgotten my cell phone and the cell phone is damaged, I can't call for help. So what I have with me is the help I have. Okay. So that's kind of philosophy. And I am going to be telling you about my everyday carry firearm. I will show you it briefly. This is not going to be something I'm going to be doing a lot. I'm not going to be talking about guns on this channel a lot. I am not going to be showing guns on this channel a lot because YouTube hates the Second Amendment. And I want to grow the channel. Yes, there's BitChute, and I thought about putting videos on BitChute too, and I might. But BitChute is teeny tiny compared to YouTube, and there's really no sense in making videos that nobody can see. And I'm hoping that eventually I will get better at this, and more people will start watching, and I will have recruits to the Church of the Knife. I will have more knife people. Soon the knife people will be everywhere. So there's that. That's philosophy of use. And one thing I wanted people to get, if they're going to learn anything from this, don't use not having the greatest whiz-bang for an excuse not to have any whiz-bang at all. as I said, something that you can have now that will work. It has to work, and it has to be reliable. But it doesn't have to be top of the line to give you bragging rights at your buddy with your buddies. Okay. If they're making fun of something that you don't have, you know, that's their problem. Okay. So to start off with, we're going to get the firearm out of the way. I carry a Springfield Hellcat in a I will tell you in a minute what I remember in a thing called a gun vault pack, which I'm not going to show you. It's on my belt, and I'm not taking my belt off to show you the doohickey. But I will look and see exactly what I'm talking about here, because I forgot. Well, now that I got it that far, I will take it off the belt. Because I have to get it off to see. It is a bulldog contraption that looks like something that you put a tablet in or something like that. And it goes on a belt with a loop. I'll put that back on here. Yeah, because yes, I do carry around the house. I think they call this a bulldog gun belt, but it looks like something that you carry one of those great big huge surfboard-sized cell phones, or my Kindle, which is what I'm filming this on. It doesn't look like a holster, but it's very secure. It completely conceals the gun. I don't have to worry about my shirt riding up and showing the gun off. I do have a legal permit, so, you know, legal disclaimers here. I do carry this legally. And why the Hellcat? Well, I mean, you can go online and find all kinds of stuff about the Hellcat. I'm not going to do it. But it is reliable, which is absolutely the most important trait in a concealed carry gun, or an everyday carry gun. It is small, as you saw. That little thing has 13 rounds in the magazine, 1 in the pipe, which is miraculous. It's good sights. I haven't had it very long, but I've probably got at least 1,500 rounds through it, and I've only had one stoppage, and that was my fault. When I was shooting left-handed, one-handed, and I lip printed it one time. So there's that. I also carry a spare magazine. Chances are I will never have to reload, even if I get into an encounter where I am forced to protect myself with my firearm. I will never have to reload. But the whole thing about EDC, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, right? Okay. My personal protection knife is currently the Orella OX008. I will bring that up and verify that, because I just kind of decided to do this on the fly. Now this is about a $30 knife. I've done a review on it. You can go to the channel. 420 steel. You know, it's not super steel, but it is very thick. It feels very good in the hand. I like it because it is just about the right length for a fixed blade personal protection knife, and it's just it's good enough. This is not going to break in any kind of a personal protection application. It's not a super steel. It's not, you know, one of the, hey, look, I got the latest gizmo from Benchmade or Zero Tolerance or Microtech. It's not that knife. It is a knife that I am going to use to protect myself if I must, and in close quarters, either to fight my way to my gun or to keep somebody from, if I'm wind up grappling for my gun, which can happen, as it happens frequently, I can use this in my weak hand to fight the guy off and get him to let go of my gun. It comes, I'm not, again, and it comes with, it came with, and I said this in my review of the knife, but it comes in a very nice Kydex sheath. Sheath is great, but it came with a Tech-Lock clone, which I threw away. It was the Tech-Lock clone that came with it was completely unreliable, started falling apart almost immediately. I have a real, honest-to-goodness Blade Tech-Lock on it now. And as I said before, I tend to not use the screws that come with the Tech-Lock. I like the zip ties better. Screws tend to come loose. They're usually too short. They're a pain in the butt. So there's that. Okay. My everyday carry pocket knife is a Kubi. Which I also touched on briefly last week. And I will tell you exactly what model in just a second. Okay, we'll go back a little bit. The Orella is the Orella TAC OLX004. That's a mouthful. And the Kubi, I will tell you momentarily, as soon as I find it. Where'd it go, where'd it go, where'd it go, where'd it go? It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Honest, but anyway, while I'm scrolling through here, this is appropriate if I need a backup personal protection blade. D2 steel. It's got a nice recurve. It does slice nicely. It does take a little bit of a different cutting stroke in my experience. It's made in China, but again, it's a $30 knife, and it's EDC. And while I once was a law enforcement officer and I did a lot of work in private security, where I might want to carry something sturdier or more expensive. Not necessarily, though. I am neither of those things now. I'm just a guy. The Kubi model is the Kubi KU208. But I'm not an operator, or I'm not a SWAT guy. I'm not so I just carry this stuff because it is a violent world. Even in the little town where I live in, I live out, I live in the country. Some folks might call me a hicker, hillbilly. But violence is becoming more prevalent everywhere. But the thing of it is, if I lose one of these knives, I'm out $30. I am not out $60. I'm not out $100. I'm not out $300. If the zombie apocalypse or the Boogaloo came along, yeah, I might get into my collection and get the more expensive stuff. But I don't see, possibly losing that much money for everyday carry when something less expensive will do the same job adequately. Again, that's my philosophy. Now, of course, the Hellcat 500, right? And I upgraded that. I upgraded the Hellcat. The Hellcat is an upgrade. Let's put it that way. I used to carry a Ruger EC9, and there was nothing wrong with that gun. It was reliable. It was accurate. But again, violent world. And now we're not talking about some meth head, trying to shake me down to get his next hit. Now we're talking about a bunch of friggin' animals dragging you out of your car and beating you to death, and there are 10 of them. So a little bit more ammo capacity never hurts. And of course the sights are better. And there's a lot of other as an upgrade. But something like an EC9, if that's all you can afford, it's better to have the gun that you can afford that works than the gun that's on the gun that you gaze at longingly at your gun store, and you know, is going to be, and you can't afford, you can't have. Now, especially with firearms, yeah, you want to spend enough money to get something that really does work. You know, you're not going to want something like a High Point, but Ruger is a good, reliable company. But with the knives, a $30 knife can be a really good knife. Next is another knife, Nutty Knife Guy. Is the Cold Steel Spike Tanto. I just got this recently, and I will probably do a full review. Carry this as a neck knife. So why 3 knives and only 1 gun? Because I can carry these knives. First of all, I can't afford necessarily to have 3. I don't want to carry 3 guns around. And even smaller guns are big and they're heavy. But the knives I carry, I can pretty much get to a knife no matter what position I'm in, and with either hand. So, Cold Steel, of course, is a very fine company. I'm a Cold Steel fanboy. I got a lot of Cold Steel stuff. Now this one might get replaced by a Cold Steel Mini Tack because it is a little long for a neck knife. But for right now, this is what I'm doing. Now, I don't rotate through my EDC stuff. I tend to carry something for a long time until I decide that I need something better, then I can afford something better. Now, once I get some other things taken care of, I'm going to be ordering a custom knife from the Kukri house in Nepal that I've designed that will replace this. But that's going to be at least 4 or 5 months away, so I don't, you know, have a new knife every week, or I don't carry a different knife every week. I've got over 100 knives in my collection now, but I carry pretty much the same ones every day until I find something better to replace them with. Okay, next, of course, I have my cell phone, which right now is not on my belt. It's over here because I was using it as a calculator. This is a cheap-ass, kind of generic gizmo. I don't see the need for a $500, $600, $1,000 cell phone. Right? I've got, you know, kind of a military-grade cover on it, but that's all that is. I think this is a cool pad, they call it. And then I have, and this I am not going to show you because it's a pain in the ass to get off my belt. The rest of this stuff I carry in Elite Survival Systems Liberty Gun Pack. Now this gun pack is designed to carry a gun in it, but I tried that and it didn't work very well. The rapid access pocket and with the rapid access zippers was never all that rapid. Now for a concealed carrier as a civilian, rapid draw isn't of primary importance. It's important, but it's not of primary importance. You don't have to be, you know, Bad Master Center, or you don't have to be a gunfighter, you know, where you're out in half a second. You need to get it out and get a one on target in under 2 seconds, from what I've seen from most of the experts. But I could not do that with the gun pack because the zippers would never reliably let me get the gun out that quick. But it is sturdy, it is well made, so I use it to carry all my other stuff. Wallet, a flashlight. Now this is another example of you don't need to spend a lot of money to get something that will do the job. This is a 650 lumen flashlight. I don't want to ruin my camera, but it's bright. It's made out of anodized aluminum, so it's sturdy. It's got a good solid button on it, and you know it's got these little granulations, so I guess you can use it as a Kubotan or something, which realistically it's not going to happen. The one thing I did do with this is I used duct tape on it because it had one of those variable focus things that made the beam wide, and I want my beam narrow and I want it beam all the time. I don't want, and I don't want this sliding down when I'm carrying it, so I taped it so it doesn't do that. This was like $9 at my Roll King store, and it is absolutely capable of doing the job. I don't need to spend $60, $70 on a Surefire or an Olight or something like that. Maybe if I had that kind of money to throw around, I would do it just for, whoa, I got the latest Streamlight, I got the latest Surefire, or whatever. But you know, chances are, for one thing, chances are I'm going to be using this to like find my keys when I drop them in the dark, or look for a stray cat or something. So, you know, and it works every time. So there's that. Now this actually goes in the loop that's meant for my gun in my Liberty gun pack. You can look, if you want to look at the Liberty gun pack, you can Google it. Elite Survival Systems Liberty gun pack. A Bic lighter. You never know when you're going to need fire. Let's just back up here. And in another pocket in my gun pack. Now this, people might say, be going overboard, but I'll explain why it's not. I have a pressure dressing in its paper container, and I have an ace bandage. Now these are obviously to control bleeding. Now these are going to be replaced very quickly with an Israeli combat dressing, which will take up less space and be better at doing the job than this. But for right now, this can be used as a tourniquet, or it can just be used to wrap any kind of an injury, or to hold this in place to keep a laceration or something, to staunch the bleeding until professionals can get there. This is a, kind of a stopgap measure until I can afford something better. Limited money, I have to prioritize things. Now, again, somebody, my own brother, probably thinks this is all overkill. But the thing is this, again, if you get into an interpersonal conflict, if somebody attacks you and you are forced to defend yourself, you, in all likelihood, will be injured even if you win that encounter. Something like this can be the difference between bleeding out before the EMTs get there, or being alive for them to do a professional job of patching you up. And also, my brother is a truck driver, and he's not home a lot. And my sister-in-law, his wife, has a lot of medical issues, doesn't get around a lot, can't get around very easily, so I'm usually taking her places here and there, to and fro. And she is on medications that are blood thinners, which means a small cut can be a very serious problem. And I need to be able to deal with that. And the little first aid kit that I keep in the glove box of the car might not be adequate. This, like I said, it could be used, the bandage could be used as a tourniquet. You can wrap something tightly, get the pressure. So there's that. I also carry a zebra pen, because zebra pens write very well. They take standard refills, but this is an aircraft aluminum pen, and if all this other stuff doesn't work, or for some reason I don't have it, or I've lost it, this is stout enough to be used to discourage aggression. I have a multi-tool that I carry every day. This is a Gerber suspension, and it's, a pretty standard multi-tool. It's got a couple of knife blades on it, it's got scissors, it's got screwdrivers, all that other stuff. But this is just one of those things that you will never know it when it comes in handy, but eventually it will come in handy, and it has come in handy for me. And, well, I guess you can call this EDC, other than my keys. I do like to smoke the occasional cigar. And so attached to my gun pack with a carabiner along with my keys is my cigar puller. And last but not least, what I carry every day is, get it out here, a little cross. I do have a Christian faith. I am a very unconventional Christian. Won't get into that. I don't carry this as much of a symbol of power or even as simple as my faith. I carry this as a reminder of a code of conduct as outlaid in the scriptures of how I'm supposed to treat people and how I'm supposed to act. But this goes on every day. Everything else protects the body. This protects the spirit. And that's all there is to my EDC. Maybe too much. Some might say enough. I don't know. But that's the way I roll. And with that, I will bid you to draw your knives only in just purpose. Sheathe them only with honor. And that goes for your guns too. Draw them only in just purpose. Holster them only with honor. And also remember that without knives, life would be dull and pointless. Please like, share, and subscribe. That makes me very happy. If I get enough subscribers, who knows? You might see a fat man with a cane do a happy dance. Which reminds me, I almost forgot something else that is in my EDC thing is a cane or a walking stick. Now this is one thing I do rotate. I've got 5 or 6 different ones. This is just the only one I have handy right now. And the reason I do that is that I find that after I use this walk this for a while, my wrist gets to be sore, and I have found that changing the way I grip it, if it's a walking stick, I can grip it like this. Changing the length, it changes the way pressure is put on that joint. Here we go, and allows me to mitigate the problem with my wrist. And that's all there is. So I will bid you goodbye.